So basically, we have to collect this information from the source. And same, first phase, keep in your mind, you have to replicate whatever running into the, maybe it's running good or running bad. Each and everything you have to replicate it. Because if you are going for the migration along with the improvement, that will create a problem. Because if, let's suppose you will not able to migrate your server, then they will say like we hire DBA and they are not able to achieve those because you added some add-ons feature like a performance improvement, security improvement basically. So instead of going with a both part, you have to go one by one. First phase, you have to deliver your migration. Second phase, if like a end user is saying server is running fine, we are okay with application, then next phase, you have to create another plan for the first security enhancement. And second, you have to go for the performance improvement. Don't go all together, basically. Fourth, I'm saying like a collect information dependent, applications makes like a dependent application. So basically, this information like a application team can collect this. So basically, they will provide what are, I can say, dependent, if you can change your database services into the, you can say, a stop state, you got to know how many application. Basically, you have to support your application team to find out. If any application is not running, if you can stop your services, database services, old services, you got to know how many application are associated with your databases. Collect the information database, login, user information, permission, each and everything. So for this, basically, login information, you can collect from the, you can say, command, because those command, you can directly sys login, you can go through and you got to know how many logins are available. And those login, basically, you have to start migration. So for the migration, what point you have to keep in your mind, because I already created one steps. Okay. So you can see this URL, if you can try to access this URL, basically, let me control and so you'll get to know what are you can say, how you can extract your SQL login basically. So it's a very straightforward. It's created by the Microsoft. So only you have to start using those because you can see first you have to create one store procedure into your source machine. It's a SP underscore hexadecimal. And another procedure is called SP help reb login basically. So this procedure, let me start and so that we got to know how they are extracting information basically. So let's suppose I'm connecting with my this server, and in this server we have a multiple login. You can see this login I created like a admin, creator, or login, or on a reader, writer. So this login you have to migrate. Let's suppose take example. I have another server called SQL 02. SQL 02 is a target server for us. And if you can see, here is a lesser login available here. So I'm removing this login, whatever we created. Uh, So this login I'm removing. And next step, what we have to do, like a migrate SQL 0 server 01 instance from SQL 02 basically. So what is the next step you have to do? It's a straightforward only. You have to connect your source. So this is my source server basically. I'm connecting. And you have to create your first procedure. And this procedure basically, whatever password is there, they will convert into the hexadecimal so that it's not a transparent password. So hexadecimal one form procedure I created. And if you can check, and let me check this procedure is there or not. I created already. So in master database, basically we are creating. So if you can try to find your procedure, you got to know this procedure is created recently. So hexadecimal is already created, but the next procedure is not created. Those procedure will help you to extract whatever login is listed into your server basically. So this is procedure created Microsoft. You can start using. It's not a problem basically. So all DBA they are using for the extracting you can say all the login information. So let me try to refresh. And you can see now procedure is created. So both procedure you will get to know via this URL and it's a fixed URL. Okay, what is the next step basically? So if you want to extract all the login from this server and you have to migrate into the target, it means 02 instance MS SQL 01 to 02, only you have to execute this procedure. So let me try to open a new window and you can try to execute. Nothing to do anything. But if you want a specific login information, you have to pass your login name here. But for the migration, I have to migrate all the login, whatever available into the 01. Let me try to execute. So you can see now all logins, okay, it's a created. Let me extract and paste into the new query, you got to know. So you can see whatever logins are there. Let me check this one, owner. I'm going to check this login script is ready or not. So you got to know its login already created. So basically they are checking not exist into the service principal. Basically they are creating a login, but this is a password and they are converting into the hexadecimal basically hashed. So if you
But
can, yes, yeah, please.
yeah, but you have not ran that store procedure, right? Hexadecimal. You just created a procedure,
So, okay, yeah,
but we have not executed it,
okay,
right?
one second. I created both procedure, create procedure I executed. Yes.
Okay.
I
Yes.
executed one by one. Initially, I executed, if I'm, let me close this one. Okay, you can see this one, first procedure. Initially, I selected this part and I executed this part only. Okay, so this part I created a hexadecimal, and next I
Right.
selected this one, rev login, and I created those. So both procedure we created. And I executed. Let me go with a query. You have to call this procedure. So maybe you are thinking why we are not calling this procedure. Basically, this procedure is using underline this procedure to creating a
Okay.
hexadecimal password. Okay. So if I'm saying, let's suppose as a DBA use also, you can create this procedure into your target environment. Like let's suppose you have to create same user into the production to dev environment. Okay, so you can create your procedure, this procedure into the your production, and a specific to login you can pass your login name and you will get only a specific to those login. And now I'm
Uh,
saying, yeah, tell me.
you mean to say transferring the specific login rather than transferring all the logins, right?
Yes, yeah. But if you,
Okay.
for the migration, basically we have to focus for the all the logins. So for the all
Oh,
login, you have to execute this one. And whatever query is executed, just try to copy and try to execute into your target basically. And
okay.
they also mention one steps. So like suppose like a before starting a creating procedure, I dropped some logins. Okay, so let's suppose initially we got some logins is already there. So if I have to escape, because here is a mention, if not exist, then they will create a login basically. So basically, they are checking first if service principal logins are already there. If not there, then they will create. If already there, they will not overwrite whatever logins are there. So if you want to drop and create, so basically you have to drop and once again you have to execute your script. Okay. So let me try to
Okay.
execute into your target server. This is a SQL 0, MS SQL Server 02. So all logins, if you can check and you got to know, all login is replicated here. Let me try to refresh your second instance and you got to know all logins are created. And you can also check whatever permission, whatever password was there, same password will work because it's a hexadecimal form. So if I can try to connect, let me go with some DB creator SQL admin. This login, let
Can
me
you
try. Yeah, please.
can you rerun the query? That query? Yeah.
What
Because all
create?
the logins are created. I want to see what error that it will throw
No, no, no.
if
Error
the
will not
login is
throw.
already there.
error will not raise because here is a
Okay.
mention if not exist then they will create. Okay, so it means they will
Okay.
not create now because all login is already there. Let me try to execute. They are not
Okay.
creating anything. But if
Okay.
let me try to drop this login user A. Okay, I'm dropping this. It means only one login creation part will executed. Only this only. Let me try to execute.
Okay.
So if you can refresh, you got to know your user A is created. Yeah.
Okay. I understand. If the login is not there, it will create. If it is there, it will like ignore it,
Skip.
right?
Yeah, ignore it. Yeah. Let's suppose
Okay.
like a initially one person is install your SQL PC, like a SQL instance, and they created one user, SA. Okay, with a different password. So they will not overwrite from the source to target when we will try to execute this one. But if you want to do, you can directly delete those login or you can remove this part. Automatically, they will try to execute. Let me try to comment. What will get a problem basically? You will get this login is already there. Let me try to execute. I remove if not exist part. Okay. So you can see what supplied parameter is in use. Okay, what I did. Basically, if I will try to execute this one, what error you will getting? This point we have to check. So basically what happened? Okay, it means whatever SID it's created this one, it's already used. Okay, so that's why they are giving this error basically. So if they can go with a different SID, that should work. Okay, and if we can
Okay.
write like a if already exists, let me try to go with a different fashion. I'm saying if already exists, then what I have to do? I have to drop your login and then once again they will try to create and that should work basically. Begin and then I'm going with the end. If one liner is not required, you can write if you want. And else I'm going with this part. So basically if exist, they will drop and else it means first case they will drop. Second run, if I will try not exist, and then they will go with the else part, they will create your login. Okay. So now if you can check, a login will not available basically. Yeah, you can see it's a dropped because I said like
Yes.
if exist, then drop. Next, if I will try to, so same cases, basically what happened, they will not move into the exist, you can say now is a not exist. Then we'll move into the create login. And you can see, you will get this login is created. If you can refresh your login, A is already created. Yeah. So basically on basis of your customization, you can do your customization. They will not ask anything. And next problem, like let's suppose we migrated your login. And next I'm saying like you have to migrate your databases. Let me try to migrate one databases for now. I have a demo database and demo database, I created a multiple user, you can say. If I can refresh, you can say these are user are there. So basically I want to show you orphan user, how you can fix basically. Because login is created. If I will restore this demo database, you can see your user is already created, but you are not able to connect with your databases. So basically it's a orphan user. So next step we will try to fix orphan user. So let me take a backup and first let me check demo database available into the target or not. It's not available. So let me try to restore this database. So for the migration, let me take a backup and try to execute same backup.
Yeah. One more doubt I have, a correlated one.
Yeah, tell me.
So it's like if there is a source and a target server, so whatever the drive and the drive letters, that should be match or that could be a different.
So basically, if you want to go with a straightforward migration, it should be match. You
Okay.
can match, like you can try to change your later. In later also,
Okay.
after installation, you can do. But if like a restricted, you can't your infra team, Wintel team will not change those. then you have to go with some, you can say, exception, or you have to move your database while restoring into the target basically. Only
Okay.
restore is a creating problem, nothing else. You can change. Let's suppose they created and they are not able to make a changes into the drive. So for that case, you have to move your, like a restore your database with a move command. Only this part will impact, otherwise no impact.
Okay.
So I'm going with a restore database, and whatever backup I created, I think it's a F drive I created, F or G drive. Yeah, this one backup I created. Let me try to restore and file, because same server, same drive. So we have to change, you can say, database name so that they will not create any conflict. Okay. So I'm trying to restore. Okay, restore completed. Let me connect a second server. I think it's a second only. And if I can check like how many orphan user is there. So we have a one command, connect your database, use your master DB. And here you have to run execute sp change users login. This command basically this procedure, and you have to mention here report. So in report they will provide to know how many orphan user are there. So if you can try to execute, okay, and oh no, basically whatever database you restore, you have to go with the same databases, and in same database multiple user are created. So basically you check your same database and execute these steps, and you can see how many are orphan user. Oh, no orphan user. Which server I'm trying? 02 only. And I restore database into the 02. It means, okay, let me try to check why they are saying it's an orphan user. It's not there. So if I can connect, it means all connection will work basically. So, oh, logins is already created. Okay, and user is already how they map, because what happened? Okay, whatever SID I generated, same SID, it's a match with a second instance. So that's why you can see it's a user is like a not creating problem, or phone user is not listed. So it means if I can try to connect whatever user is created here, logins is created automatically. This login will work without any issue. Let me try to go with this user, and it's a demo DB, it's a DB owner permission. So let me try to check it's the same access or different one. So I'm going with a SQL authentication, trying to user, and this is trying to password. Okay. And if I can expand demo database, it should be DB owner. Yeah. So basically whatever SID created into the same machine, and we replicated and created into the target. So that's why these login are not creating any problem. But if you can change your system, like a one system to another system, SID will change, and it's create, I can say, orphan user. Orphan means you can see login is there, user is there, but linking between login to user is not there. So these are called, you can say, orphan basically. Let's suppose I'm doing something. Okay, same, let me list out, like let me create a orphan situation here. So connecting as a, this user is already there. So I'm going to drop this user. Let me disconnect and dropping some user here. So same DB reader, DB writer, let me drop this user. Okay. Let me delete this user. I'm creating a login. It's a test DBA schema. And here, without login, let me try to create because must login should be without login create user. Create user this without login. Okay, different name test owner reader we have to create because this user is already there. Okay, let me do for the same steps then because I didn't created a login. One second, we have a one another instance restore database device this and same if G drive backups demo this one and file name should be different 02. Now you can see our fun user because login is not created and I will create a separate login 02. Okay, what is happening? Okay, database tlogs. I think database is already there or not. Yeah, already there basically. Restore device backups demo. Okay, let's start. It's a restore our databases. Same, I'm going to create a new login. Whatever logins are there, reader, you'll get this login is already created and I'm going with the same password because whatever password I'm using into the another instance, I'm going to create and going to create this. If you want, you can create a new login with a writer also. Okay, reader is there. Let me writer only one step. And then same credential I'm going to pass. So basically, let me go with these steps. Okay. If you can check your new database and try to execute whatever command I said, like you have to execute this one. And then you have to try. Oh, sorry, what I did. You got to know it's an orphan user you able to see. Are you able to see? So basically, these user are there, but even not match with, you can say, any logins. But you can see same credential. I created a, you can say, test reader user and reader user is here. Same, but it's not working. So let me try to connect this server with the same credential. Uh, I mentioned this one. And here I'm going with the same credential I'm trying to pass. You can see it's connected, but even they are not able to read this database. It's over fun basically, it's not matching. So what is the next steps? So next step, what you can do, same copy this command and paste here and change login. Yeah, tell me. Auto fix one command is
Yes.
there. And then you have to pass your whatever user. you created just now, logins is created, and try to
So
execute the, yeah, tell me.
when we say orphan user, there could be a two scenarios, right? Whether the login is not there and the user is available in a database level. Another thing is login is available, but it is not mapped to a specific database.
Yes, you can say, like some cases, you can say some login is created with a server role. Maybe it's a DB creator role or sysadmin. So we can't say login is orphan. Only user is orphan basically. So if user is created, but login is not mapped, like let's suppose both sides, like a user is created, no logins, it's orphan. User is already created, login is also created, but no mapping found, is called orphan. Let's suppose I created a login and those login is not bind with any database role user basically. So it's a different scenario. You can't say login is a orphan basically. Let's suppose
Okay.
I'm creating one login. Okay, let me create one login sec. Okay, going to create a sec. Okay, and I'm saying like a same credential I'm passing, and I'm saying I have to go with a sysadmin. Okay. S- Okay, you don't have permission. Which user? I connected with a reader and trying to get a access. Okay, let me create here also. So if you can see, so this login does not contains any, you can say, user basically. So basically user is not our fun because user is not required for this server role. If I'm going to create a sysadmin on whatever role are there listed here. So you can say sec is created and you can say it's not binding at any databases. You can, if you can click here user mapping. In user mapping, you can see these databases are there, but not even any like a database sec is not a part of this. And if you want to map, and if you can click here like a demo new, and if you are creating a DB owner, it means you are creating a sec user into this databases. You can see user is created with a sec, but initially user was not there. So mainly we are fixing orphan user instead of orphan login. You can see some cases orphan login is there, but mainly this report is only for the orphan user, not for the login. You got my point?
Okay.
So let me create this one. So now you can see this login, whatever login I created, and if I will delete this like a user, let me go and click. Um, Delete this one because user is here. So that will not create any problem because this user sec have, you can say DB completely DB owner or sysadmin access. So it's not create any problem. And if you'll try to search, execute this one into the master database, you'll not get to see it's a user orphan. Yeah. So only you have to think orphan user, not a orphan login. Yeah. Because user is there, it means rights is in place with a user. Whatever database right, it's associated with a user, not associated with the login basically. Okay. So you can fix with a 2, 3 method I explain. If you can go through, it's a straightforward only. Here I shared. Okay. So here is a like I will get to know what are orphan user report, and then next step I mentioned how you can fix those. So basically, you can say these are method to fix. So in a 2000, basically you have to keep in your mind this one because this feature came 2012 and later version basically. So you have to provide your username and login name. Automatically they will tie up. It's not create any problem. It's a straightforward only. So if I'm saying like I created one login, let me try to expand. User is there and login is also there. Okay. Test login, test user. Basically, this is a login. So, and same login, same user I want to map. So you can directly go and create this one. Straightforward, those should work. If you, but you have to use your databases. Whatever database you created, and you have to map. That should work. Yeah. So if you can check now your report, you will not get a test reader basically. It's one method, it's a 2000. Okay, where I'm executing, I think it's a default. Let me try to go with this method also. You can directly mention same procedure you can use for the reporting and same procedure you can use for the fixing. So only you have to go and place auto fix basically. And whatever user you have to mention. But let's suppose I have another case. I have to map another user to another login. If name is same, like a username and login are name are same, you can go execute this command. But if your login is different and user is different, you can directly try, like let's suppose this is a user and you want to map with this login, you can start using this. Same thing, this is a straightforward only. If you want to use the same login or different using, this version and this command will you use next phase basically. So try to use this command instead of going with this. Only for the reporting you can start using this. Yeah, because this is a straightforward. If you want to go to use for the same login or same user or different user, directly you have to place. You have to mention your username, you have to mention your login name, and you can directly start using both cases. No need to memorize these two method basically. You got?
Okay.
So this is a straightforward only to
No,
fix
usually
your.
when we create a login, a user will be, I mean, that user will be created automatically, right? By
No, no,
default.
no. Basically, it's not created. If I'm creating a login, let's suppose same scenario, and you can check your data login also. You can see. I'm saying like I created a login, but if you can click here, you will not say any user is created for any database because it's server low rule IMAP sysadmin.
Okay.
Let's suppose I have a one DBA. They can manage disk label. Okay. And they also work as a developer. And I have to add a DB owner access to a specific database called this one. So I have to click here and I have to click here. So, so this operation basically user is creating into these databases. Okay. So
Okay.
let me show
Okay.
you. If you can check here, sec user is not there. Basically no mapping found. But when you will be creating a new login, like let's suppose I'm going with Arun. Okay. And same credential. Okay. And if I can go and create without any server role, they will not create any user, only they will create a login. Okay. So login is created, they can connect, but they don't have any rights to see any database, view any database, any operation they can do. But if I will, let me go, Arun user is not here. Okay. If I can create this login and then I will map with a demo DB new databases, they will create a new user and whatever rights I will be adding here, it's replicated to user. You can see user is already created. Okay. So basically, and if I will remove this one, this will, we can't say it's a or phone login. But if I will remove a database, then Arun is a or phone user. You got my point? So by default, when we are creating a login, by default, it's not creating a user into the each and every database. On basis of required permission, we have to add. Yes?
Okay.
Any question?
Okay. Now, if we created a login, if we map uh, any database,
Databases.
then the user will be created.
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever rights you will met. Let's suppose I want to create a login.
If I don't choose any server level logins, like if I just create a login and server level permission, if I grant only which we have a public,
Yeah, yeah. So
what
they will not
what
create
happens then?
even, so basically they will not create any user into the databases. Only connect
Uh,
permission basically you will get. You can't do anything.
Okay.
Let's suppose same thing. You can see here, I created Arun and just let me uncheck and I'm going with a public. Yeah. So if I can only connect and I don't have any access with a database label, or you can say server label. Only connect privilege, something like a Oracle, maybe you have seen, grant connect to Arun, basically. Something, these permission we are adding. Okay, okay, I think it's a wrong password. Let me try with the correct. No, let me change the password. I'm not doing anything. Okay, which show server I created? Arun, I deleted, I think so. Let me check. Arun is not there. Let me create once again. I think I deleted. So basically, public is enforcing you. I'm not adding any server role as well as mapping. Okay.
Can you map with local? Not possible. I mean, can you map with the public
Yeah,
to
it's
any
already
DB?
map. It's a map already public.
No, for DB level.
So DB label, like only these are permission are there. So only connect permission. If I'm
Okay.
going here and so it means login will created and user will be created, but without any
Okay.
rights, without any
Oh,
database right, without any server level rights. Okay, let me show
okay.
you. Let me create. You can see user is already created into the database and login is also created in a server level. Okay. If you can try to connect this database, server basically, because you don't have any rights. So only connect privilege is there. Okay. But if you can expand, you don't have any rights. Yeah. You can see
Yes.
nothing is there. Yeah. So nothing binded. No, not related to the database, not related to the server level. Basically, two levels are role. Role, server level activity maintenance, and database role, DB level activity maintenance. Okay, so basically Arun does not have any server role associated and database role associated.
Okay.
And if I will remove, let's suppose I will remove this login for one steps, I'm saying like a, so it means Arun mark as a orphan user. Okay, where is, okay, let me try to disconnect. I think we have a less time. Okay, which user I'm trying here. Okay, it's a database label. I'm going to, okay, database not, I'm going to remove as server label. And you can see it's orphan user. I think it's used by the another connection. Okay, so if we can remove, you will get to know it's orphan user reported into the database label. So
Okay.
that's all for today. So if you want, I can connect today evening. And Arun, if you want, you can also connect. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, dear.
So, in which scenarios we can encounter